Hi, welcome to Mercury retrograde and Pisces predictions. I'm so sorry I put this video out a little bit late. We've already been 1 week into the transit. I kind of had to just take a step back for a little bit, think about stuff. But yeah, for this video, I want you guys to look at your rising sign for the most accurate predictions, and then you can go ahead and watch your sun and moons to get an overall picture. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm gonna leave the timestamps below. Okay, so let's start with Pisces. So this Mercury retrograde is happening in your first house, which is the house of Pisces. I'm gonna move over actually. I'm gonna put a diagram here. So basically, the main theme for this Mercury retrograde is about your personality, yourself, like who you are as an individual, and just really about your identity as a human being. So you're reconnecting, like you're rediscovering and reassessing who you are as an individual. Because many times Pisces, like, we can kind of take on a lot of other people's emotions, a lot of other people's what they think we should be. I'm a Pisces rising myself, so I feel like everyone gets Pisces energy wrong because we're so connected with something that a lot of people do not understand. Like, they cannot comprehend that. And we have vision, like Pisces, it's not just Pisces sun, Pisces energy, Pisces moon. Oh my God, like, you guys, it's crazy. Like, Pisces energy is extremely visionary. And the thing is that a lot of times we allow people to kind of tell us who we are, but the thing is they don't see the vision because it's not theirs. It was never theirs to begin with. It was your vision. We came from the 12th house, right? Mercury was in the 12th house because it was in Aquarius. So we came from the 12th house, and then from the 12th house, all these things from the subconscious started to pop up. All these things, like, you know, that we repress, because that's what the 12th house represents. It represents the things that we repress, the things that we keep hidden, and the things that hold us back, the things that we have to let go of. It also represents a bunch of other things like creativity, and just visions, like all those dreams, all that type of stuff. But in terms of this, what this means for you, Pisces, like, you as an individual kind of repress your uniqueness, because Aquarius is like this unique ass individual. It's like this innovator ahead of its time energy, and you have that energy in the 12th house of repression, of like, oh no, I don't want to show this side of me. So a lot of times Pisces, we can kind of hold back on who we are because we want to fit in, we want to be a part of society. But the thing is, like, why fit in when you were born to stand out, right? Right now, you're kind of understanding and kind of reconnecting with what it is that makes you different, what it is that makes you unique, but not just for the heck of it, but because that is what makes you who you are. And also, having Aquarius in the 12th house, a lot of our dreams and imagination is wrapped up in the collective conscious, like healing the collective conscious. That's why a lot of people don't get us, because right now I feel like it's a time for us to really understand, like, who we are as an individual, what makes us stand out, but also understanding, like, what's in our subconscious. What happens in your subconscious is ultimately what becomes your personality. I want you guys to be aware that the experiences that lie in your subconscious directly have effect on your personality. So for example, for Pisces, if we have an experience in our subconscious that makes us feel like we have to fit in, that, you know, we're too out there, or like, you know, this ain't practical or whatever, you know, it's gonna show in our personality. We're gonna act out these fears based on the subconscious mind, because though you can't see them, they're still being experienced. So yeah. So right now, I feel like Pisces is really starting to understand you as an individual, what you stand for, what it's starting to understand as well the impact of a single individual. So for example, like, a lot of people can be like, oh, well, what can one person do? How can one person make a difference? But now you're starting to realize that that one person can make a difference. And being unique and different is actually a great power, because that way you're able to shift somebody else's perspective. Just by being you, you're making a difference. We're not so focused on people anymore. I feel like before we're very like purging all these people, that now, you know, you're starting to see, like, you know, not being able to change the world, not making an impact, not being able to inspire was all an illusion. Like, that doesn't exist. That doesn't, it makes no sense. Like, because, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this resonated. If it did, give it a thumbs up, and then also leave a comment down below and tell me how this Mercury retrograde is happening for you Pisces, because for me, I definitely just kind of had to think a lot. Like, I was thinking a lot. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hi Aquarius! Okay, so let's see what's happening for you for Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Mercury retrograde is transiting your second house. So the second house is all about our possessions, our talents, our value, what we value, and also self-esteem. So the main theme for Mercury retrograde is you're going to kind of reconnect, reassess, reconstruct. You're kind of like reestablishing what it is that you possess as a human being, and also what it is that you value as an individual. So when we transited the first house, which was in Aquarius season, we had our sun there, and we also had Mercury in the shadow phase in in Aquarius, which is in your first house. So during this time, we were kind of working on bringing things more to the subconscious, bringing things, understanding who we are as an individual, working on ourselves more, like working on what makes us unique, what makes us stand out, helping us be more self-confident in who we are. So now that we understand who we are as an individual, we're moving on to understanding what it is that we possess. So once we have a strong sense of self, then we truly understand what it is that we naturally possess. You guys are innovators. You guys are about bringing humanity forward, about advancing humanity, about healing your man. You're very concerned about the collective consciousness as a whole. So a lot of your dreams and a lot of your talents, or a lot of the things that you have to offer to the world, is really wrapped up on a more universal level than an individual level. Because for you guys have a lot of, so for example, if you guys want to be like artists, or if you guys have like some type of scientific advancement, or so if you identify yourself as an artist, so if you're like, I am an artist, then I possess the ability to sing, or I possess the ability to draw or to cook, because that's also creative. Like, you know, that's also a talent. So I think right now you're kind of reassessing and reconnecting with your talents, with your natural abilities. So you're kind of like re-examining what it is that you have. So again, like your possessions as well, because it also rules possession, like physical possessions, so things that you own, and kind of like purging your possessions as well. You kind of go through this time where you're like, I don't really need this in order to uphold or sustain who I am as an individual. I would just let go of it, donate it, or whatever. Or maybe you could just be thinking about what the things that you need financially, like what type of possessions you would like to have now that you establish this new sense of self, or like this strong identity. The second house is also very connected to values. So values is something, what value is ethic, basically. It's an ethics. It's ethics. So what you hold most important, or what you don't hold as much importance to. So for so you could be really thinking about what is really important for you. Like, you know, maybe you're really about animal cruelty. You know, maybe you're about the environment. Ethics, or like what you deem to be more important than something else, then that is going to have an effect on your action. So if you value, you know, animal cruelty, then you're not going to, you know, contribute to animal cruelty. Your values determine what type of actions you take as well. So that's kind of like the first house is the house of action too. So it kind of like connects those two houses. But another thing that the second house represents is finances, so money. So you can be kind of reevaluating and re-examining your financial situation. During Mercury retrograde, maybe you find that you may not have enough money to pay for something, or you may find that you need something that is a little bit more money than you thought. And this is kind of making you really think about what it is. Again, what it is. Do you really value this thing? Do you really need it? Does it support the individual that you want to be in life? So yeah, I think this is really about your talents. Basically, Mercury retrograde is making you stop for a little bit and rethink and reevaluate what is it that you possess, what is it that you value, what is it that you need in your life, what are your talents that you need to re-examine, reconnect with. Yeah. Maybe financial situations too can come back up. So if you have any unpaid bills, maybe that's something that you're thinking about. And it will be a great time to eliminate those during this time so we can move forward after this Mercury retrograde. Yeah guys, I hope this resonated with you. If it did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what's been happening during this Mercury retrograde. Like, what are the things that are coming up for you, if you're having any weird dreams, because I've had weird dreams. But if you're having, but yeah, if you have not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Hi Capricorn, welcome to your Mercury retrograde and Pisces predictions. So Mercury retrograde is transiting your third house. So your third house is all about communication, it's contact and connection with your intermediate environment, so your neighborhood, and it's also about learning. So during this time, we are going to be reconnecting with our environment, reconnecting with the things that we want to learn, reconnecting with our communication, kind of reassessing our communication skills. So the third house is really about, so the third house is about learning, but it's not really learning like the overall picture, it's learning small details. So maybe right now you could be relearning. So maybe right now you could be like going back and relearning things that you are interested in, or things that you learned in the past that you're going back to really review and relearn and really take a deeper look at whatever it is that you want to learn. And so for Capricorn, I feel like a lot of you guys, or many of you guys, are very misunderstood when it comes to communication. Like, a lot of people might not take you seriously enough, or a lot of people might not think that you're, you know, you have any value to what you're communicating. But it's not like that at all. You guys are very intelligent and very connected with, like, people in general. You're very connected. You're very connected mentally to the collective, and I think that that's why you're so good at business and just being a boss, because you can kind of understand someone without them even talking. Like, you really know how to pick up on people really well. So we came from the second house, which was about our possessions, our talents, and our self-esteem, and what we valued. So during this time, I want you to take a step back and really reevaluate the things that you value, re-examine the things that you value. What is it exactly that you value? So values are connected with ethics. It's connected with what you deem as important or what is not important to you. So really understand what are the things that are important, what are the things that are not important to you, and really finding what it is you stand for, so that way you can clearly communicate whatever it is that you want to communicate. So do you really know what it is that you value? Do you really know what it is that you possess? What are your natural talents? Why is it that you're so passionate about certain things? Like, this is the things that you're thinking about. Like, why am I passionate about this? Why am I even here? Like, what am I even doing? Like, you know, you're really like reflecting on these things. So another thing that the third house rules is your intermediate environment. So it's like your community and your neighborhood. So Mercury retrograde is definitely known for disruptions. So you can have a lot of disruptions in terms of traveling. Like, you could be having a lot of travel issues with your car or the train, the subway. I live in New York, so I feel like every day is a bad bus train day. Like, there's never a good day. But if you are a Capricorn, you may notice that you have more traveling issues, or your travels are disrupted more, or there's definitely more miscommunication within your neighborhood or your environment. This is also the house of siblings and also the house of cousins. So maybe even past issues from your siblings or past issues from your cousins can come back into your life to be resolved now. But yeah, but basically I feel like this is really about trying to establish and reevaluate what is it that you're communicating about, what is it that's on your mind. Again, I said before, a lot of Capricorn risings have trouble communicating and just like having people listen to them even though they're right. Like, it's just really hard for you guys to kind of put your foot down. But I think that once you clearly establish what it is that you possess, then you can go out and communicate efficiently. You can go out and manifest efficiently. Once you have like a solid foundation and a solid sense of what your values are and what it is that you're doing in life, like why is it that I'm so passionate about the work that I'm doing, is going to kind of eliminate the illusion that what we have to say is not important, or what we have to say is not being seen or being heard. So yeah, right now you're really reevaluating how it is that you're communicating and also how it is you're learning. This is a really good time for students as well, just relearning things, revisiting things, finishing projects that we started. But yeah, for Capricorn, you guys are always you know, going and going and going, and you don't really stop to think about what you're doing. Like, you're just trying to reach your goal. So right now Mercury retrograde is stopping you and making you really reevaluate what is it that is important to you, what is it that you possess, what are your talents as well, so you could go out and communicate it to the world, and you could communicate your thoughts to the world more efficiently, and also with a purpose as well. So yeah, I hope this resonated with you guys. If it did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what's happening to you during this Mercury retrograde. I would love to know. I want to know if you have dreams or anything like that. But yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel for new videos. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hi Sagittarius, so let's see what's happening for you for this Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is happening in your 4th house. And the 4th house is all about your upbringing. It's about the home, so your home life, like your actual physical house, your family, those who you consider family, and also your private life. So it's like your inner self, you know, your feelings on the inside. So this is a very emotional time for you, I think more than anybody else, honestly, because, I mean, you and Leo, you and Leo and Aries. So all the fire signs now are very, like, in their feelings. So very interesting. But yeah, this is the time where you're reconnecting, you're reassessing, you're re-examining your home life. Certain things from your home can come up again. So if you've had any feuds with your family or any misunderstanding with anybody who you would call family, then this is a time where that reappears, so you can kind of bring that whole misunderstanding to an end. So any past issues related to your family is coming to your attention now, so you can resolve these issues, you know. So even your home, so this is a very emotional time for you guys, I feel like, especially because Mercury retrograde is in Pisces, so there's a lot of thinking and, you know, going internal, so we can kind of figure out what's happening deep down. And we just came out of the 3rd house, which Aquarius was in the 3rd house. It was really shining on our ideas, how we communicate with others. What are this Mercury retrograde in Pisces, you're really going to, I think you're really just looking within to see what it is that's blocking you when it comes time to actually express yourself. So how is your home life affecting your self-expression? Because when we get into the 5th house, which is the house of, you know, romance, the house of pleasure, the house of self-expression, creativity, all that fun stuff. But before we get there, we have to kind of understand what's happening with us internally and what's happening with us in our most private setting, which is our home. So there's a lot of things having to do with family at this time. You can also be experiencing memories from the past coming back, because the 4th house does rule memories. It's kind of like your psyche. So you can have some memories from the past flood your mind now. And you're just kind of trying to purge out, you know, any feelings that's making us hold us back in any way. So yeah, for Sagittarius, you guys are not usually the one to like dwell on emotions and dwell on things that happened from the past, but now like Mercury retrograde is literally stopping you to really think about these things and see how family affects you, see, you know, what's happening deep within, and understanding our emotional clutter, because the fourth house is not just about family, it's also just how history repeats itself. So all these cycles that we continue to put ourselves in, like this is the time where Mercury is giving us the opportunity to purge out any cycles that we keep repeating in order for us to move forward. Yeah, any type of home repairs as well could come up. Redecorating of your home, you could kind of be reevaluating, re-examining your home. How, you know, maybe it doesn't make you as comfortable as it did, or maybe there's like a bunch of things that stop working all of a sudden. So you know, it brings your attention to having to repair these things in your home. Yeah, guys, just purging any past conflicts, any past hurtful things, or any past grudges that you hold with your family. You're really just examining them and looking at them through a microscope, trying to really kind of resolve any issue that is holding you back when it comes to self-expressing, when it comes to performing, or when it comes to be creative, because we can't fully be in the moment if we are so consumed by like everything that's happening to us in our home, right? Dealing with clutter in your life, so either clutter, physical clutter, but also emotional clutter. And in this time, you could definitely be more at home, like in your private by yourself, kind of rethinking a lot and just reevaluating, rediscovering who you are in your privately, basically. And you're not really out in the public right now. Like you kind of want to just stay home and just chill. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys resonated. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know how you've been doing during this retrograde, what's been happening, what's been popping up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos. So I'll see you in my next video. I love you. Bye. Hi Scorpio, so let's see what's happening for you for this Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Mercury retrograde is transiting your 5th house. So the 5th house is the house of romance, it's the house of pleasure, it's the house of creative expression and children. So during this time, you can be reevaluating, reassessing, re-examining what are the things that bring you joy in life, what are the things that make you feel like you're living in the moment and you're living life to the fullest. We came from the 4th house, and the 4th house is about family, it's about our home, our inner self. So we were kind of really focused on family issues. We were focused on like things that have happened in our home. What is it that affects us in our home? How is it that Mercury has gone into Pisces in the 5th house? We're now looking at how is it that the things that happen to us in our home or our family issues, how is it that that affects our creative expression, or how is it that it affects our, you know, how is it that those issues affect how we live life to our fullest? Like, are our family issues blocking us from actually enjoying our life, or actually being present with our talents, or being present with our creative expression, or our children? So this is a time for you where you're reconnecting with your talents, you're reconnecting with your self-expression, you're being more creative, you're being more trying to live life in the moment. You're not trying to overthink about things, right? So right now, if you have to go back and resolve any family issues, then that's what you have to do. Like, you have to go and really think about what it is that's happening, what's blocking you from fully being in the moment, to fully being able to create whatever you want to create. And our family, things that happen to us in our family, those are really deep, important things to us. Those are things that really affect us and throughout our whole life. But if we have grudges, or if we have things that are not resolved in our family, or is holding us back in any time, in any way, or even in our home. If we're not feeling comfortable in our home, how is it that we're gonna go and like sit down and create something if we don't even feel comfortable in the space that we're in, right? So this is like what we're looking at right now. We're really looking at this relationship between our home life and our creative expression. How is that we enjoy life, or is our home life even allowing us to enjoy life? So this is also the house of children, so you can also be reconnecting with your kids more, maybe you examining your relationship with them, restructuring your relationship with them. Yes, so yes guys, so this is really important for you guys in terms of so yeah, this is also the house of romance. So retrograde has a reputation of bringing people back from the past into our life again. So this is not really the house of committed relationship. This is more like flings, like, you know, like romance, like one night stands or crushes. Maybe like you have a crush on someone, you haven't yet talked to them. So this is a time where these people could come back into your life. So people you had one night stands with, or just was like a fling or whatever, and crushes also could come back into your life. But I really think that this is overall about your creative expression and feeling free. Oh, and also I wanted to let you guys know that when you're creating, when you're actually in the process of creating, you have to create for yourself. This is not about creating for other people. I don't care about what the heck is, I don't care like how much recognition you want. You're not gonna get it if you don't first feel happy with it just for yourself, you know? So right now we're creating for ourselves. I feel like Scorpios are really coming in, establishing joy just for themselves, not for anybody else, just creating just so you can make yourself happy. Really, this is about prioritizing your pleasure in life, like what brings you joy. Of course, when we're self-expressing ourselves, that naturally brings us joy, but it's for ourselves, it's not for anybody else. So yeah, I want you to really look at your family issues, family problems that are not allowing you to actually be happy in life, you know, not allowing you to live in the moment, not allowing you to express yourself the way you want to express yourself. And so Mercury retrograde is helping us purge all of these things, all of these issues, purging, bringing them to the surface. Yeah, so I hope that this resonated with you guys. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also leave your comment down below. Let me know what's happening for you this Mercury retrograde. Like, are you having any weird dreams? All that stuff, like, let me know. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more videos. And I love you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hi Libra, welcome to your Mercury retrograde predictions in Pisces. So Mercury retrograde is transiting your 6th house. So your 6th house is all about your diet, your health, how you maintain things, your routine, so you could be as efficient and as productive as possible. So the main theme during this Mercury retrograde is going to be around establishing a routine that works for you specifically, really surrounding health during this period. So you could be really concerned about worrying it about you, because you naturally have Pisces in the 6th house. So having Pisces in the 6th house, your work and your everyday routine somehow is always concerned around other people, right? Libra, people-oriented sign, you know, they have Pisces in the 6th. This is why, because you're so concerned about everybody else's well-being that you never have time for your own well-being. During this time, you're reevaluating, you're reconnecting, and relearning how to take care of yourself. It's really like the self-care month for you. And reevaluating your diet, your routine, what is it that you want your everyday to look like, how you want to go about your day, your work habits, your work in general. It just came from the 5th house when we were in Aquarius season, and also Mercury retrograde shadow season or shadow period, who was in your 5th house in Aquarius. Your main focus during that time was reconnecting with your creativity and your self-expression and what gives you pleasure. So maybe you reconnecting about putting out certain work that you've done, being more creative, connecting with your self-expression more. And this doesn't have to be something that's like out of this world creative, like drawing or something like that. Like cooking is creative, like doing something for yourself, just for yourself, not for anybody else. So you were kind of understanding what it is that makes you unique and what makes you different from everyone else, because having Aquarius already ruling your 5th house, your creative expression and the things that you have to offer to the world are way more unique and different than everyone else's. Like, you guys have a more futuristic vision with your self-expression and the things that you create. And we're moving into trying to give ourselves self-care so we can actually bring those creations to life. So this is a time for you to recharge. This is a time for you to relax. Like, this is more than everyone else. I literally have not said this for anyone else. But Libra, you're always focused on everyone else. Even, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? Everybody always like, oh, Libras are always focused about, that's, you know, that's your role. That's what you do here, okay? So that's draining, you know, being around so many people and your day is constructed around everybody else's. Like, you know, you have a hard time establishing a routine for you. You know, you don't really know how to establish a routine for you. So this Mercury retrograde is really about healing for you, healing your body, healing your mind, and recharging. I really think that this is more of just relaxing at home, because Mercury retrograde, of course, is always known for its disruptions and, you know, technological difficulties at work. You could definitely experience these things, experiencing a lot of miscommunication at work, a lot of miscommunications within your colleagues at work or whatever. The thing with Libra is that your artwork or like your creative expression is going to impact the world. Like, that's what you want. You want your creations and whatever it is that you do self-creatively that comes from your self-expression is concerned with the collective conscious. You want to advance society through your self-expression, right? You want to, whatever you do for a living, I mean, whatever you do creatively, you want that to have an impact on society. And you're focused on that. You're focused on, you're very futuristic when it comes to your self-expression. So you're so focused all the time on other people or on the collective conscious, you know, that you don't take care of yourself. You neglect a lot of your emotional and physical needs. So during this time is time to re-examine your health is being looked at through a microscope, and we're really evaluating what it is that makes us feel good, what doesn't make us feel good. Also mental health, we're looking at our mental health. We're re-examining, reviewing our mental health state, like how are we feeling on our mind, what are we thinking about, and we're just taking time for ourselves during this Mercury retrograde. We could be very tired, like drained during this Mercury retrograde, but yeah, Libra, that's pretty much it for you guys. I want to know what's happening with you guys. Are you guys having any weird disruptions at work? Let me know down below. If you resonated, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and also subscribe if you haven't already. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hi Virgo, welcome. So let's see what's happening for you for this Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is transiting your 6th house, or I'm sorry, Mercury retrograde is transiting your 7th house. Some lowers, you can see the little diagram or whatever. But basically the 7th house rules over relationships, one-on-one relationships, close relationships, things that are important to you, people, places, and things. How you connect with others. So the main theme this Mercury retrograde is surrounding other people. It's a very people-oriented Mercury retrograde for you. So more than anyone else, because you hear all the time Mercury retrograde has like this reputation of like bringing people from the past back, past lovers, exes, ex-friends or whatever, and that's true, but for a lot of people, Mercury is not in their 7th house, which is the house of relationships. There are other houses that have to do with people, but this is the main house that you can definitely have past problems with friends come back, past lovers come back, past situations with close people, people who are important to you. This is not like people who are at work and you don't care about. Like, this is people who you actually care about. So during this time, you're really reevaluating and reassessing your relationships in your life and how they're benefiting you, if they are benefiting you. During this time, you could kind of be really reevaluating the people in your life, and if you've seen them clearly, if you've seen them for who they are, because a lot of times we can allow people to do things to us or allow situations to get out of hand because maybe we're like, you know, we're not really seeing the other person clearly enough for who they really are. You're starting to really see the truth of people. And you're really, it's like starting to see who they are for who really they are instead of who you want them to be. Because a lot of times Pisces, having Pisces in the 7th could kind of blur our vision on who these people are for real. And we can kind of come up with excuses for ourselves and for other people because it's like, oh no, this person is not really like this. You know, we're kind of like blinded by, we're just trying to bring more clarity to you, trying to clarify who it is that's helping you, who's not helping you advance in your life, because you guys have a lot of goals for 2020. Like, you know, we don't have time to be dealing with people who have their own ego problems. You know, we need to understand and see people for who they are clearly, and you can like actually resolve the issue. Like you could resolve certain feuds that people have, and you guys are always helping everyone, trying to be like the actual person who has a working mind here. So yeah. So I also think that, okay, so another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is because we come from the 6th house. We came, you know, Aquarius time was in the 6th house for us, and also Mercury retrograde shadow period in Aquarius was in your 6th house. So this, I think that a lot of times having Aquarius in the 6th house, it's really funny that you guys have Aquarius in the 6th house, which is the house that you rule pretty much, because Virgo rules the 6th house, and having Aquarius here is like, is very interesting. But I think that it's because you guys are always expecting something unexpected to happen in your daily life. Like, you know, you're always looking one step ahead. So you're kind of very innovative in the way that you go about your work, because you're always kind of expecting something to go wrong. And now you're in the 7th house, which is the house of projection as well. It's not just about relationship, it's also about us and how our relationships mirror us. So yeah, so I feel like now you're kind of, Pisces is like going with the flow. It has to learn to let go and actually go with the flow. So I feel like now you're more focused on not trying to control things as much, because you realize coming from the 6th house that things happen unexpectedly, and you can't control everything. Like, you know, you can plan ahead, but you can't control everything. So you kind of start to realize that certain things are gonna be out of your control, and it's not really productive to be on edge all the time. You know, like, it's not really good to just be on edge and you know, think that everything's gonna go wrong, or think that something's gonna go wrong, or something's gonna go unexpected. But rather going with the flow and just letting it happen is more of what's happening with you guys. Like, you're just trying to go with the flow and trying to not control everything. Again, it's really about purging people out of your life, purging situations that are not serving you as well. Yeah, guys, if there is a situation that comes from your past, like a past lover or a past friend, there's some misunderstandings that need to get resolved, resolve them. Like, don't run away from them. I don't think you can with this Mercury retrograde, but yeah, like, kind of, this is a time to resolve and purge, and always remember that there's always going to be two sides to this story. Like, so this is a really good opportunity to kind of let everyone say what they need to say, tell like, you know, say their side of the story. I think this is a good opportunity for that, because we're purging here. We're just trying to get rid of everything from the past and move forward. This Mercury retrograde, you're really going to look at your relationships under a microscope. You're going to really be re-examining and who and what causes stress in your life, unnecessary stress in your life, and re-establishing those boundaries. We're talking about boundaries in terms of who we relate to, how we relate to people, all of that stuff. So I hope this resonated with you. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And also tell me down below if you are having any weird dreams during this Mercury retrograde, like what's happening. I would love to know. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, okay? I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hi Leo, welcome to your Mercury retrograde prediction. So let's see what's happening for you during this Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So Mercury retrograde is transiting your 8th house. So this is very intense for you guys. It represents transformation. It's about other people's resources. It's a very deep house about death and rebirth. And it's also the house of sex. So this is a really interesting position for Mercury retrograde. Basically, I think you're really looking deep within yourself during this time. You're really examining yourself as an individual. You're examining your patterns, your psychological patterns, how you're acting towards people, how you're acting towards yourself. Now you're really reevaluating and reconnecting with your sense of how can I improve, or what can I do better? How can I better myself? Oh, we came from the 7th house, and Aquarius season just passed, and as well as Mercury retrograde shadow period was in our 7th house. So we gained insight from our relationships. We gained insight from the people that are close to us, right? And this insight of who we are, because the 7th house is about projection, so it's about the mirror, like it's a mirror effect on who we are when we're relating to other people. So really about self-examination. So through our relationships, we are really able to see ourselves in a different light. And through our relationships, we're able to gain insight on who we are. Us are kind of coming to realization of the things that we're doing. And they may not necessarily be things that we like that we're doing. So it can be a hard time for us to really admit to ourselves that, you know, we're in this pattern and we're in this loop and we're in this cycle. But basically, Mercury retrograde is trying to help us with that. It's trying to help stop this cycle. It's trying to help us transform and become a better, new, improved person. So depending on, so for everyone it's going to be different, but let's say, for example, if your friends or your close people around you are telling you certain things about yourself, you know, you're going to have to take a step back and really look and analyze and see, is this really true about me? You know, what am I doing? Like, why is everyone saying this about me? Or, you know, that's an example, because, you know, they may be saying great things, and that's awesome. If they're saying great things, then, you know, that's great. But if they're not, if they're saying something that you may not necessarily like, you know, then maybe you just have to sit with that a little bit. Maybe you just have to really think about it and look more deeper into that. So yeah. So another thing that the 8th house rules is other people's resources, so other people's money. So you can definitely be, so if you're working with somebody, or like you have some type of shared resource with somebody right now, this is a time where you're reorganizing, reassessing, reviewing any type of financial situations that you have with someone, or like if you have any loans as well, because this is someone else's money. You can kind of be rethinking about how you're going to pay those loans back, how you're going to distribute like the resources within whoever you're sharing them with. Reviewing like financial planning or any like financial situations as well is going to be favorable during this time. This can be a period of time where you're really having to ask yourself difficult questions that you may not want to ask yourself, or things that could hurt your ego, because, you know, it's hard to admit to ourselves sometimes that we're not perfect, that, you know, sometimes we're wrong. So I really want you to pay attention to the people that are in your life, because I feel like relationships are really important for Leo. But yeah, in terms of people that are returning to your life, you have somebody from the past come back, maybe an ex-lover, or someone who you were deeply connected with, like someone who you thought you had like a very deep connection with. They could come back into your life. But yeah, I really think this is a time for transformation for you guys. This is a time to really think about who you are as a person. So yeah, this is the caterpillar in the cocoon, and when it comes out, it's going to be a beautiful butterfly. But before that, it's going to be very, very tough and hard, and this is also the house of extremes, so you could definitely be having more extreme moments in your life, kind of just very up and down, up and down. So yeah, that's pretty much it, Leo. I hope that this resonated with you. If it did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know how your Mercury retrograde is going for you. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more videos, okay? I'll see you in my next video. I love you so much. Bye! Hi, Cancer. So So let's see what's happening for you during this Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is happening in your 9th house. So this house is all about expansion. It is long distance travel. It has to do with faith. So the main theme during this Mercury retrograde is surrounding what it is that you're surrounding, like the meaning of life, the bigger meaning of life. And we're kind of being forced to look at the things that we did achieve. We're kind of being forced to look at the overall picture in life, not look at like the small details, but kind of look at life on a bigger scale. So like the overall bigger perspective, and we can be kind of re-examining our faith as well, because Mercury, because the 9th house does rule over faith, religion, all that stuff. So we can kind of philosophy, so we could kind of be re-examining, reviewing, revisiting philosophies that we had, or re-evaluating our faith system, or the things that we believe in, our beliefs, reconstructing our beliefs. 9th house is not about travel. Like it is about travel, but it's not just about travel. It's really about how it makes you feel. It's like that feeling of abundance when you have it internally, feeling limitless, like feeling like, wow, I can do anything. When we talk about expansion, we're talking about our mind expanding. So we're talking about our mind finally realizing the limits that we have. So when you have this feeling of not limiting yourself to what your mind has made you believe, basically. The main focus for you is going to be reviewing and reconsidering your philosophy in life, and what you consider to be true or what you consider to be wrong. Basically, like your beliefs in life are going to be, I wouldn't say challenged, but you're definitely reconsidering what you believe in, and you're really taking a deeper look at what it is that you consider to be right or wrong. So this is definitely a time where you could be more connected with spirituality. So you could be more spiritual during this time. You could just be connecting more with the source. So this is also the house of higher education. So any type of schooling, this could be a very good time for you. Review. So this could be like a really good time to review your notes, to review anything that you learn and expand your mind even more. But yeah, this is really about abundance, feeling abundant, because if you feel abundant and you feel limitless, then we're able to move on to the 10th house of career. And then there we're able to feel like we can do anything, right? We can like shine bright at, we know, because we know what it is that we want. We know what it is that we want. We know who we are. But because we have this more abundant and this more positive sense of where we're heading. So this is pretty much it for you guys. I hope that you liked this video. I hope that you resonated with this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And also comment down below and let me know how your Mercury retrograde is going for you. I really want to know. And also make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to have you a part of my community. And I love you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Hi Gemini. So let's see what's happening for you for Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So Mercury retrograde is transiting your 10th house. So the 10th house is about our career, our reputation, what our goals are for the future, what our goals are in life in general. And it's really about, and also our public image. The main theme for this Mercury retrograde is about re-examining, revisiting, rethinking, re-examining your career, reassessing, all these re-words. And how you're seen in the public. What is your reputation? What do you want your reputation to be? So you're kind of reassessing what it is you're working towards. Having Pisces in 10th house originally, you guys can have a lot of confusion on what it is you want for yourself in life. And that is, so like you may not really know what it is that you want to do. You have so many things that we could do as a Gemini. You're like, I want to do this, I want to do this. I don't know how to pick. So right now you're kind of re-examining what it is that you want to do. You're really thinking about your career. And so we came from the 9th house, and we had Aquarius season in the 9th house, and we also had Mercury retrograde shadow period in the 9th house. So we really were forced to look at the bigger picture in life. We were kind of forced to look at all of our successes and things that we actually achieved instead of looking at the things that we didn't achieve. The ninth house is connected with long travel, long distance travel, and expansion, but it's not just about the expansion. It's really about how your mind expanded, like how you feel. You have an inner feeling of abundance. You could have gotten connected more to spirituality, or anything that really just expands your sense of abundance. So this is really about establishing our sense of abundance, establishing a sense of faith, establishing a sense of positivity. Because if we feel these things on the inside, if we truly feel abundant, then we can actually create that as a reality for us. And I know feeling like you're limitless can really make you feel like you could do anything in life, like you can create anything in life. And yeah, Mercury retrograde has a reputation of bringing people from the past back into your life, so you could definitely have people from your past come back in terms of work. So people who you worked with, people who gave you money, or people who you know, any type of professional authority may come back. Any type of misunderstandings or problems that you may have had with coworkers or people you worked with, or people who, again, authority figures, and you're kind of just trying to resolve. You're purging and resolving all these issues. So now another thing that you can definitely be reconnecting or revisiting is talents or skills that you could use in your career. So maybe now you're kind of reconsidering old tactics that you may have had in the past, ways to make money, certain ways to advance yourself in your career, kind of reevaluating your goals in your career as well, what it is that you want for yourself in your career, what career you even see yourself in, things like this. It's kind of coming up. So yeah, Gemini, until you establish a really good, solid sense of abundance within you, then you could go out in your career and you can kill it in your career. You can find abundance in your career. You could feel like you could do anything, and that's what you're going to manifest. Okay, so this is really a time about purging. I wouldn't start anything new in terms of your career. I would revisit things that you have already done and leave these new ideas for when Mercury goes out of retrograde. But for now, revisit things that you did before. Like revisit, like if you worked online or something like that, go back and work online. Okay, so I hope this resonated with you. If it did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and also comment down below. Let me know how Mercury retrograde is going for you. I would love to know. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe so you can have more videos. Okay. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you a part of my community. I love you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hi Taurus, welcome, and let's see what's happening for you for this Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So Mercury retrograde is transiting your 11th house. I'm going to move over so you can see this diagram here. It rules over our friends, our associates, it rules over our friends, our associates, like co-workers and stuff like that, and people who we share common goals with. So the overall theme for this Mercury retrograde is going to be about really reassessing and re-examining, re-looking, all these re-words pretty much, in the area of life having to do with the people that you work with. So the people who you share common interests with, common goals with. So you're kind of trying to look more closely at the people that are around you. See if they fit in with your goals, like if they share common goals with you, if they fit in with the future that you have for yourself, that you have drawn out for yourself. Do these people actually fit in with this plan? So you're really starting to see people around you differently. You're starting to kind of disconnect from people on a more emotional level and more connecting with them on a more like associate level. Basically, we came from the 10th house. So Aquarius was in the 10th house, Aquarius sun, Aquarius season just passed, which was in the 10th house, and also Mercury retrograde shadow period was in the 10th house. Now we have a clear understanding on where we're heading, what our goals are, what we want to achieve, what we want our reputation to look like. Now we're thinking about the people who are around us, because if you are around the wrong people, that is going to hugely impact your success in whatever you want to do. So for example, I'm going to speak about myself. I used to work at an optometrist's office. I used to work at a doctor's office. And there was nothing bad with that. I was grinding. I was happy at first. But then after a while, these people were not helping me grow because I didn't have the same interest as them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't care for eyes. You know, I mean, I care for eyes. I like my eyes, but that's not what I wanted to do in my life personally. So they always say, like, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you gotta find a different room. You're in the wrong room. Like, you need to go find people who have the same interest as you. And so now you're starting to kind of disconnect from people a little bit more, and you're starting to kind of see, you're kind of looking deep within you and understanding who it is you want in your life and how is that going to affect your goals. So having Pisces already in the 10th house, in the 11th house, you have a hard time distinguishing between the dreamers and the doers. Because a lot of times you can really you could be so in love with how imaginative and how creative someone may seem and how their picture of the future may sound, but when it actually comes to doing something, they don't do it. You know, they're just like, oh, nah, I have to go to work, or they make excuses, right? But you're gonna really be focused on trying to create and establish relationships that actually are aligned with you as an individual and what you want to achieve and your reputation and your career, whatever you're building, you know? So the 11th house is also about your future. It rules the future, so you can really be thinking and reevaluating, reviewing, relearning things, or like rediscovering what it is that you want for yourself in the future. So this is a really good time to plan, go back to things that you may have thought about before. Just kind of reevaluate what it is you want for yourself in the future, because you really thought hard about your career, you thought about your reputation. Now we're really starting to think about our goals, what it is we want our future to look like. Also be reassessing, reviewing any type of common goals you have with individuals. So if you're working within a group, you can kind of be reviewing, revisiting certain things. And the 11th house is also about activism, and it's also about humanitarian acts. So you can be more focused on reconnecting with your humanitarian side. Maybe there was something that you were very passionate about before and you kind of let it go, and now you're revisiting it. You know, now you're like, okay, now I understand why I believe in this so much. Now I'm more connected to this. Like you're diving deeper into it, you're re-examining it, you're researching it. Like so yeah, Mercury retrograde is always known for bringing people back in the past. And I really think this is about people who you worked with, people who you share common goals with again. You yourself as a Taurus can be working with people who have common goals already, because your Aquarius is in the 10th house, so you work best with a group of people that have like the same passion as you, the same goal as you. So you can maybe if there was issues or maybe there was misunderstandings before, now they're coming back to the surface, so we can read them. So now we can purge them and resolve any issues like that have happened. There could also be misunderstandings happening now within your work, like co-workers and stuff. There's just a lot of miscommunication. So yeah, Taurus, I think this is a time where you're really just purging the people you're around. You're the people who, you know, you want to be around. Now you're maybe reevaluating the type of people that you actually do want to be around, the people who you do want to associate yourself with. So yes, that is pretty much it. I hope this resonated with you. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also comment down below. Let me know what's happening for you this Mercury retrograde. I would love to know. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure that you subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. I love you. Bye. Hi Aries, so let's see what's happening for you for this Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house is our subconscious. It deals with our dreams, our imagination, anything that we have deep buried in and we keep to repress. So during this time, we are stopping Aries. Like Aries is stopped right now. The main theme is really about looking deep and purging our subconscious. So purging what's deep within us. It's time where we're really looking at ourselves on an internal level. We're really looking at, we're examining ourselves on a more internal, deep level. So we can be, so this is a time where we reconnect with spirituality as well, because the 12th house does grow spirituality. So this time we could be reconnecting with spirituality. We can be kind of reinventing what spirituality means to us. And it's actually so funny. I got a message recently from an Aries rising that they just got into astrology. They're like, oh my god, I just believe in astrology now. Like, I just got into it. So I thought that was really interesting, the fact that Mercury retrograde is happening and they're in Aries rising, so it just kind of made sense. So you could just be reconnecting with your spirituality more, reconnecting with source more, and kind of diving deeper into the meaning of life, like what everything is as a collective. So you're really trying to understand like your subconscious more, and the things that you keep hidden, the things that you keep repressed. You could be having a lot of different dreams that kind of are from people from the past, or things that you have to resolve, things that you kind of keep repressed, and now they're coming to the surface, so you can bring them bring clarity to your life and purge these negative emotions or these things that are holding you back. To be definitely a more solitary time for you, a time where you're definitely more to yourself. You could be just in your room by yourself a lot, just thinking and just reevaluating like your entire life or where you're heading. And we came from the 11th house. So the 11th house, we had Aquarius season, which was happening in our 11th house, as well as Mercury retrograde shadow period in the 11th house, which is the house of our goals and our associates. So those are the things that we were more focused on. We were more focused on our overall goals for the future. We were more focused on what associates or who to associate ourselves with in order to achieve our goals. And now we're kind of like taking a step back and just kind of like really looking deep within and seeing the things that are within us, the things that we have to purge internally in order to move forward. Right now we're gonna be kind of more behind the scenes, reviewing, really reviewing our life, actually, like reviewing these whole 12 months that have happened to us. Another thing that could happen is unconscious habits can reappear as well. So if you've had any habits that you kind of do like unconsciously, they can come back now and reintroduce themselves into your life to kind of see. It's kind of like testing you to see if you are aware of them or not. So I want you to be really aware of those habits and what are you doing and why are you doing them. 12th house is also about universal compassion. So I feel like Aries, during this time, you're really connecting with the overall collective consciousness. Like you are starting to, you're really starting to like connect more on a universal level. A really good time to reconnect with your creativity, reconnect with your dreams. Is a really good time for pay attention to your dreams. Like, I want you to really write down your dreams and see what's happening in there, because your dreams are from your subconscious. They come from your subconscious. So, and your subconscious has a direct effect on your personality. So whatever is hidden in your subconscious, those experiences that we have in our subconscious, they have a direct effect on how we act, how we behave. Any secrets as well that we have can kind of come to the surface or reappear, or if we had any secrets with other people, they could kind of like come up now, because Mercury retrograde likes to bring back old things. Kind of like soul searching, like you're soul searching right now, like you're really looking deep within. I don't even really know how else to explain this, because yeah, this is a really cool time for Aries. I feel like Aries has been the whole year grinding and worried about work and figuring out people and like all this stuff, and right now you're really like on pause, like and Aries is never on pause, so this is a very important time for you. I really want you guys to rest. If you definitely will feel tired during this time, because the 12th house is sleep. It rules sleep, or it rules dreams. So you're definitely going to be just wanting to go to sleep more and dreaming more. But yeah, this is also a really good creative moment for you. You're going to have more creative juices, just a lot of like spurts of inspiration and creativity. And also So yeah, so that's pretty much it, Aries. I hope that this resonated with you. If it did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and comment down below. I would love to hear anything that's happening to you during this Mercury retrograde. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!